was the best moment of your guys' week? I'm fascinated. What was the best moment of your week in Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first night, but Ty and Pat ringing that siren, it's real hard to beat that.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights really, hey, they took care. How much of the city did you get to experience? Did you go to U2? Did you do that entire thing?
Dana's gym.
No, I didn't go to U2. And it sounds like after your guys' review, it was probably.
All right,
you lucky son of a.
I'm sick of Adam Silver hearing about us, and obviously everybody else hearing about us. Like, yeah, we're the first people, I guess, to ever, and by we I mean Ty really dove in because Ty was either hungover or drunk for 5 straight days, which was a phenomenal play, and that's when you get the best Ty.
Exactly,
that's when the best Ty is really.
Prime.
Yeah,
it's not sustainable, but if he could do that every day of the program. I think people would then finally watch our show,
start
which
drinking.
is what people are kind of saying about it. But we're not big U2 fans. Like, we know their songs.
Same here.
We're there for the Sphere, though, and U2 just so happens to be the host of the Sphere almost. What we should have known is, like, U2 is established enough, U2 has done enough. That's a U2 show, and the Sphere just so happens to be alongside U2. Like, that is where I think we potentially got it wrong. But on the flip side, U2 definitely got it wrong for the crowd that was there.
Yep, for sure.
Because there's nobody really singing alongside of it. What did you get to do? Because I assume you went to all the events because you're
I
JJ
did the
Watt.
Sphere. I did the Sphere. I did the postcard from Earth, which was great. I just wanted to experience the Sphere. Sphere is insane, as you guys know. It was 50 minutes, perfect, in and out. Got to see the Sphere, experience it, get out, great. Friday night was probably my. Yeah, I had done that before you guys asked me to come with to U2, and that was kind of why I said like I got it.
You did stiff arm us.
Yeah,
remember we invited him. That was the right play.
Smart.
You did the right play.
I didn't know if you remembered that phone call or not, so I'm glad you remembered it. Thank you.
What are you talking about?
What was that?
It looked like it was a great night.
This guy's got the mind of an elephant. You did.
Truly great night.
Yeah, it was great.
Friday night for me was great. TJ was here, TJ and his wife, and we went to our good friend Sebastian Maniscalco. We went to his show at the Win Encore, and then after that, we went to Zac Brown. So it was kind of a cool 1-2 punch. That was the perfect quintessential Vegas. You get a comedian, you get some good dinner at an Italian restaurant, and then we got to go see a concert. So kind of rolled it all into one, and then obviously Super Bowl Sunday was pretty awesome.
What'd you do? Early bedtime for Super Bowl Sunday on Saturday night? Would you prepare like it was an actual game? How'd you get ready for that?
No, I don't mean this as any you do your research, you do everything, but like I'm talking about football. Like it's talking about football. Like I did not prepare. Like I mean, I read my notes, but I did not like. I was at the hotel gym till 9.
Yes, that's the problem.
I went to the hotel gym at 9 until 9 p.m. until she closed. I closed it down the final night.
Well, that's smart. How was Dana's gym? Did you get to go over there?
Yeah, I did. It's truly insane. I mean, it's truly.
Were you alone in there? Did you get to work out with The Rock?
Yeah, 100% solo. No, I walked in. I first of all, I had no idea what to expect. He was like, "Yeah, come over anytime today," and I actually showed up later than I thought, and I was like, I literally don't know if Dana's here, if Dana's not here, if I'm working out at the UFC Performance Center, if I'm working out at his personal gym. I have no clue. So I pulled up. The security gate, they let me in the front door, and then his assistant meets me out front and says, "Come on up." Brings me up to his war room where they make all the fights. They got all the fights on the wall and everything, and he's like, "Hey man, come on in." He shows me around the war room, and then he goes, "Here, let me take you in." And he takes me into his personal office, which is mind-blowing in its own right. I mean, he literally has a 1500s full samurai suit and 3 samurai swords in there with a saber-toothed tiger fossil.
Yes.
You're just like, all right, where am I? Like, what's going on? Then he takes you back through his closet. He has like a full blown closet with every shoe, and then through the closet is his personal weight room, and it just opens up into a, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 square foot weight room. I don't know square feet, but it's very, very large. And then you go through that, and he's got his own full-blown personal spa. I'm talking like nicest hotel spa you've ever seen just for him. And he's got a cold tub. He's got a steam room. He's got alkaline aligning beds. He's got the red light therapy. Look at this. Look at this spa. Like, this is his personal spa. And then you walk through that, and he's like, "Here, and then this is my kitchen." And then he's like, "This is the kitchen. There's 4 chefs on staff. Just tell them what you want to eat, and they'll make it for you." And I was like, this is just for you? And he's, yeah, this is just we just got this. So, I figured.
Well, you got too much money. Yeah.
Yeah.
They told me I had this amount of money on an office, and this is how it ended up working out. But congrats to you. Whole place is yours now.
Works out.
Did you go through the closet and think about taking some? Dana, way to go.
Hey, Dana, way to go. Setup, man. It's got a nice setup. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, anytime you want to use it, come on. Like, my gym is your gym. And like, you know how that is. Like, I would use it every single day, but I'm not like I'm not just going to be like, hey, here I am again. Look at me. Like,
you should think about it. What did you order from the chefs? Did you get anything?
Nothing, dude. I felt so bad. Like, I felt bad. I did my workout and I got out of there.
Were you grunting in there? Did you do like a real workout? Did we?
Yeah. No, I did. So this is messed up. This is how my head thinks, and maybe this is messed up of me. I assume he's got to have cameras in there somewhere. Like, I assume he's got cameras because he doesn't want people to steal shit. Yeah. So I felt like I had to perform during my workout. Like, I did some serious weights in that weight room because I didn't want him to think I was a punk. So I was putting up real weights in that weight room.
Dana White's watching the video back from the surveillance. He's like, I think gym records. I think JJ just smashed.
Holy shit!
All of the gym.
And I had no spotter. It was just me me by myself.
Trapped under a
spotter.
bar.
So I'm like,
you're trapped under 505.
Hey, so
that'd
JJ,
be awesome.
So whenever we say you look small and your neck looks small, like, you get very genuinely offended.
Yeah, wow.
You get genuinely offended.
No, not at all. Like, I'm purposely losing weight, so I'm not much weight, but I'm purposely redistributing the calories.
Sure. All right. Well, you look good. The calories going right to the hair.
Yeah, it feels like it.
It's fantastic. Let's get back to the game. D-Bud's got a question for you.
Do not ask Dana to come on your pod anytime soon.
He just walked off Howie Mandel's pod. Did you see that?
Is that real?
I saw that.
Of course.
Is that for shoot, brother?
100%.
Was that a work?
He didn't walk off your guys' pod, so it's great.
Well, he actually told us he loves being on pods.
He did say that.
And then today we wake up to
Did you guys ever gamble? Did you guys ever go gamble?
We did not make it over. You two drained the energy out of the room.
It killed us.
Be honest. And then on Thursday, the WWE presser took place.
Yeah, and then it was a big get in where you fit in.
Yeah. That was sleep.
Yeah, bingo.
We took a sleep on Thursday. It felt very old. Actually sent a text to Dana like 4 a.m. local time because I passed out at like 7. He had sent a nice voice memo, saying, hey, what's going on?
Big voice memos, yeah.
Yeah, he sent me a voice memo. It was very kind of him, and I just responded, I fell asleep at 7. Wild decision. Missed everything. Sorry about it.
Whoops.
And then we just moved along. He would have made us probably $120,000.
Yeah, probably.
I guess that's how it goes. You go gamble with him, it's like, yeah, you're going to make your money.
It's absurd.
That's how it's going to go. Did you do that?
Win.
Did you go?
No, I did not. I have heard insights into how it works, and everybody wins. Everybody wins. It's pretty awesome.
It is awesome. I think we need to. I would like to go work out there at the gym. I want to go definitely. You see the pedicure set up there?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, 4 chefs. I'm ordering something to eat too.
Yeah, before the workout.
By the way,
during the workout.
What would you order, man? Like I was like, I'm staring. I walked
parm.
in. I was going to order
omelet,
something.
Filet.
Yeah.
And then I just grabbed the water and walked out. I felt so bad. Like, I was like,
did you cold tub and all that and do the light, red light and all that, everything?
Yeah, I did all that. It was great. I mean, it is a great setup.
So you did go into the spa?
Yeah, no, I did the cold tub, the alkaline bed, and the red light bed.
Was he okay with you just broadcasting this all to the world? Yeah, I assume you had to ask.
I asked before because he was obviously clearly proud of it, as you should be. I mean, the place is insane. And I was like, dude, this place is absolutely nuts. Do you mind if I share this? Because the world needs to see this. He's like, yeah, no problem. Absolutely, man.
Did you hear?
Great dude.
Hey,
he's awesome.
PK Subban yesterday. Did you hear this at all?
No.
6 days a week. He's retired right now. 6 days a week. He's getting a 90-minute massage.
What?
That's
got to be counter. That's got to be counterintuitive. No? I mean, that's like the Wagyu beef in Japan.
The baby cows?
What do you mean?
Like, don't they massage those cows every single day?
Oh yeah, they're tender.
They got deep tissue.
That's why the restaurant we went to,
it.
there was $820 for 12 ounces of Wagyu beef.
I soak them in Epsom.
Man, 90-minute massage every single day. Do you different body part every day? I mean,
Nope.
90 minutes on one body part. No, that's.
And then he does a 45-minute hot bath afterwards with Epsom salt every day. 6 out of 7 days of the week, he's doing this.
I mean, that's what. Man, this is terrible math. 2 hours, 15 minutes every single day, gone right out of the gate.
Well, plus an hour and a half workout beforehand, and he potentially adds boxing.
I mean, sweet life.
Wake up
sweet life. Self-improvement every day. Yeah.
Way to go, PK. I think Dana doesn't even do that. He's literally got a full spa in his office. PK's got life figured out right now. It does appear. Darius got a question for you.
But let me ask you about, we talked about the refs kind of staying out of. We had Gene on Friday. He talked about kind of the refs, and they're looking for Wells, not the minnows. But as a former great pass rusher, how do you feel about the lack of holding calls? I think Connor said last 3 Super Bowl the Chiefs have played in, 0 holding calls. I know a lot of people were talking about Micah Parsons barely getting any calls this year. I'm sure your brother, Myles Garrett, all these guys deal with the same type of shit. How do you see that, I guess, as a former pass rusher, and then objectively as a fan of the game? Would you prefer it stay that way, or like how do you see it on both sides?
Yeah, as a pass rusher, it is extremely frustrating. I mean, there's no question that every great pass rusher in the game is having holding calls missed on them multiple times. You definitely do have situations where they are holds, but you know you're not going to get the call. And then you have situations where they are holds and you know you got screwed and should have gotten the call and you didn't. So there's 2 different ones, and it is getting a little bit harder and harder to discern them. But like when you're watching on TV, you know, with all these slow motion replays and everything, there's a lot of times where fans are complaining like that was a hold. And as an NFL pass rusher, you know you're never going to get that call. You're like, okay, if I rip into him, a lot of times I'm not going to get that call. The refs have been told if he rips into a hold, don't give it to him. Or a lot of times if you're double teamed and they're holding you, which they do, the refs say if they commit 2 to 1 guy, they're not giving you that hold. Same thing. Like I've seen the Bosa one going around. Like if you spin into a hole, or if you go straight down the middle of a guy and he has you, but you're chest to chest, they're not calling that. Like it has to be outside of the body where a guy is literally pulling you and it's like away from his body. And it sucks, because it's very difficult to do. But I learned by the end of my career what they were going to call and what they weren't. And I only went to the ref and talked to him or had a conversation if it was one that I thought. And what I think is the answer, because I think refs understand that a 10-yard penalty is a massive penalty in the NFL. So I think if you made holding a 5-yard penalty, I think it is going to be called much more fairly and much more realistically because it's not as crippling to the offense.
Man, I've been pitching that for a few years because it is because you could call it on every single play, and then 1st and 20.
Done.
That's it.
You're punting. You're immediately punting. It's just, it doesn't seem to make sense, especially because defense holding's 5. Like, what are we even doing here? Speaking of defenses and being held, AQ Shipley's got a question for you.
Yeah, JJ. So obviously you watch the D-line, right? Nick Bosa had 10 pressures. There was plenty of times where he could have taken the inside move and probably got a sack and done all this other stuff, but I thought he was really disciplined with his rush, kind of doing this and then making sure he kept contained. What were your thoughts on his game? Obviously he didn't have the stats that he was looking for, but 10 pressures is a big number.
Yeah, he played well. I mean, he played well. It's very tough, And I thought about this in the Super Bowl in general. Like, as soon as the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, automatically people are going to be like, oh, Brock Purdy can't win this, or oh, the 49ers did this, or oh, that. Like, you can play very good, and lose a football game. And, like, it just so happens to be the most watched telecast in history, and it just so happens to be the biggest game in the world, and it just so happens to be the biggest prize you could lose. But you can play good football and still lose a game. And, yes, there's things you can do differently, and, yes, there's things you can want back. But I don't think the 49ers played a bad game by any means. I think that the Chiefs just played better right at the end. And, I mean, you look at it now, and especially in hindsight, but with the research and everything, I mean, taking the ball at the beginning of overtime probably was not the right decision. So, I mean, that's
okay.
One thing.
There's a take from JJ Watt. Ooh. Your take is that I think you're viewing it more like college overtime rules now with the way the playoff rules are set up because you're going to get your shot anyways. Now, if it gets to a third possession, cool. But what do the stats tell you about a third possession when Patrick Mahomes on the other side? So you are. And
the only time it gets to a third possession and it matters is if they were both field goals because the Chiefs said they were going to go for 2. If they got the ball in the second possession. So either way, it was going to be over after 2 possessions, unless it was field goal. So then you have to factor that into play because then it shifts the analytics completely. The third drive doesn't matter if they said they were going to go for 2.
Yeah, but then Niners maybe get it for 2. There's just so many conversations about if you execute, who cares? Niners take ball first. If they go down and score a touchdown, there's a whole different pressure, obviously, maybe momentum, vibes, everything like that. That is a conversation. And obviously, the game plays how it is. But, yeah,
I do think, though, like, preparing for that, and there are teams that do prepare extremely hard for every single possible situation that comes up. And sometimes it does get monotonous. Sometimes it does get, you get bored with it. And you're like, we practice these NASCAR field goal scenarios 1,000 times and it's never come up once in 3 years. Well, this one time it comes up, it's important. Hey, we practice these overtime playoff rules in training camp, and that's all the way, 4 or 5 months away. Why are we practicing that now? Well, because when that situation comes up, you're going to be prepared and ready to handle it. There's teams that have refs video every single week explaining what the refs are focusing on that week, explaining what this ref called last week, how they call the game. So I do think that sometimes those meetings can get like a little monotonous, but in the biggest moments on the biggest stage, they certainly paid off here.
Yeah, and you heard all the Chiefs players come out and be like, Andy Reid has gone through exactly what we're going to do with the playoff rules and overtime, just making him look like a genius coach, like everything fantastic. And then on the other side, Juszczyk was like, I didn't know that was rules. It's like, whoa.
Don't say that, man. Just don't say it. Just don't say it. I don't know what the benefit of saying that you didn't know the rules was. Like, that doesn't make anybody here look good.
Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, so you said you went to the Zac Brown concert on Friday. There's a video from, I don't know how many years ago, you demolished some poor guy at a Zac Brown Band concert, I believe, on stage. Can you let us know exactly what happened there? And if
AJ thinks that was fake.
I didn't say that.
I think it's fake, too.
I mean, is wrestling fake? I mean, what do you mean?
Whoa.
The answer to that question is no, JJ.
Shut your mouth.
Watch it.
It was a great time, man. Zac Brown's been a fan for a friend for a very long time. So
saved his life. Obviously.
Nice tackle.
That was a great. What a great
guy exposed his ribs. That was a poor decision.
I'll give you the real story behind it. So that guy is the soundboard operator. Is the soundboard operator for Zac Brown Band. So we were behind the stage, and he's a big Alabama fan, and I was a Wisconsin fan, and we were playing Alabama that year in the first game of the season, I believe it was. And we were just messing around backstage, having some drinks. Zac was playing some music, and we were like, why don't we do something fun here? Because it was in Wisconsin. And so the guy was like, why don't I pretend to be a fan and storm the stage, and you're Zach's security, and you tackle me? And I was like, hey, man, like, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to get hurt. Like, I'm just going to let you know. And so I said, so we took a video. I still have the video. I don't know where it is, but I have the video on one of my phones. And I took a video with him, and I said, I am going to tackle you on stage. You will not hold me liable for anything that happens with this tackling. He, on the video, said, I will not hold J.J. Watt liable for anything that happens on the stage. So we do it. The crowd goes nuts. It was bananas. Nobody knows is it real, is it fake. Turns out, he broke a rib.
Yeah. Oh. No. Yo, you broke his rib. Yeah, he didn't break a rib.
He broke a rib.
No, you broke his rib. Now, you're not liable for that, but...
Your shoulder did.
Yeah,
I'm not liable for any of it.
I mean, you're just so big, too. So I appreciate that soundboard operators, like... Why don't you not be a bitch? Why don't you, looking up at you, why don't you tackle me a little bit? You go form tackle there. Obviously, Zac says, J.J. Watt, everybody. Wow. And the place goes bananas. What a moment. That was when the J.J. Watt, wasn't it? That was during the...
Yeah, some people didn't like that. Yeah, some people were like, oh, look at this guy. Yeah, well, guess what, man? That's how shit goes. When people are on board, people are on board. When they hop off, they hop off. Why do you think people want to make the Chiefs villains now? Like, I'm sure it'll happen.
Well, what
people got mad at Travis for his haircut thing, and he didn't even say anything about it. So,
well, listen, that's the world at the top. But, like, for you... What do people expect, J.J. Watt? Hey, do you want to go on stage during Zac Brown, who's one of the greatest musicians of all time, and you want to tackle somebody, and then Zac say, hey, shout out to J.J. Watt? Like, are you supposed to say no to that? I don't understand how you're supposed to say no to that stuff. Like, you would be...
Exactly.
You'd be a bigger douchebag if you said no to that, I think. And that is kind of gets lost in the entire thing. But you've lived, obviously, a life of blah, blah, blah. You know, like this, both publicly and personally. Your brother is kind of in the middle of it right now. Everything he does is being talked about. Tone's got a question for you.
Yeah, JJ, I looked at the film and I looked at the stats, and I'd say you're a top 5 rusher of all time in the NFL. So I want your opinion. I don't know if Micah Parsons agrees if you're top 5 all time or not after he's looked at the film. For sure, he's looked at the film and the stats, saying one thing one day, one thing the next. He said your brother, who I think he played hooky because he isn't a top 5 pass rusher in the league right now to the NFL honors on Thursday night. What's your thoughts on your brother playing hooky? Okay, he didn't go to the NFL honors. He didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Should have. And Micah saying he's not a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL right now.
Good question, journalism.
This is journalism. Answer him, JJ, with your new hair.
I mean,
And make sure you watch the film. Okay.
And the stats.
Yep, and the stats.
But not the stats. But not the stats. But and the stats.
Yep.
But
bingo.
definitely not the stats. But look at the stats.
Bingo.
Got it.
Yeah. So I think the internet handled that properly. I think that it was handled appropriately, and I mean that's what we're dealing with, man. That's what we're dealing with.
Was it your idea not for him to go to the honors?
So hold on. It feels like quiet mouth, loud mind. What's going on over here? You say that's
Yeah. You don't got to say everything. You don't got to say everything. I've said all the stuff I've needed to say about it. I've said everything I've put. I mean, I said what I wanted to say about it. Like there is nothing against any. There's a ton of great pass rushers in this league. There's a ton of great defensive players in this league. There's a ton of great talent in this league, and none of it is anything to do with any of them. Everybody is great. I'm not saying that anybody else is not great. I'm just simply looking at the literal facts, and it still just boggles my mind. And
Did Raj call him and say, "Hey, we need you at NFL honors"?
No. No, I mean, I would like. Why would he be there? What does he need to be there for?
So he knew he wasn't going to win before the award show.
Yeah, wait, what?
Yes, correct.
That comes out before.
Are you shitting me?
What are we talking about? What are we even doing?
That's a shit.
What do you mean?
You guys find out beforehand?
When did you know you were a Defensive Player of the Year all those times? You're a Defensive Player of the Year. Day of?
When they call your name, right?
I mean, when I finished the season because I was the best.
Fair answer.
Yeah, that's good work.
So you weren't surprised when they call your name?
So TJ said, I'm not the best at the end of the season. He said, I'm not the best. I'm not going to the NFL.
No. I mean, there's like.
Oh, he
froze. You're getting throttled by Raj right now.
Oh no,
This is a fake.
Oh no, JJ's connection is on. This is Raj.
unstable.
Oh wow.
I have his
Wait a minute.
real
Hey,
time,
don't be giving away. Don't be giving away the NFL. What are you talking about?
Son of a bitch.
People are betting on these things, pal. You ever doing that? Oh, when do they know? I wonder. Day of.
I thought when they read the envelope.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Yeah, me too. But now that we're in a different time now. We just learned.
I thought Zac Brown was real. I thought that was. This
Tony
sucks.
Tony's
The only thing that's real anymore is that the bloodline is stronger than it's ever been with the Rock and the Road.
Yeah,
And
bloodline's
Cody's
super.
gonna finish his damn story.
We don't know about that.
I hope.
I don't know about that. You think Cody Rhodes going to beat Roman Reigns to finish his story?
In my heart of hearts, I know the American Nightmare has what it takes.
So TJ Watt,
Wide.
immediately upon finding out he wasn't going to win, he said, I'm not going to sit through this terrible award
Why
show.
would he?
It's
I wish-
Vegas.
I wish they would have told me
Good move.
whenever we were in that college football awards.
See, I knew.
Yeah, because your award was given the night before.
Yep. So it was nice. I knew I was going there to.
See, for me, I wasn't told. Like, hey, you're going to go sit incredibly uncomfortably in a very tight theater in a stupid clown suit with your mom and your dad who take time off of work to come do this. You're going to have to listen to, no offense, Tim Tebow give 6 speeches.
Too many.
Bowden give 4 speeches.
Too many.
And then you're going to lose. It would have been nice to give me a heads up, like, hey, come down for the festivities, but we're not going to make you eat your knees in this theater for 4 hours while everybody else gets to celebrate and you just get shown, and then you have to clap and be a good person.
And that's it.
Have our night. Leave the next morning.
Boom. I did college football award show.
We did it.
Joining us now, JJ Watt, who has the answers. JJ,
baby
when
J.
TJ find out, Roger Goodell said,
NFL cut me off.
They did?
Yeah.
Turned off my mic.
so TJ said, I'm not sitting through a stupid award show as soon as he found out he wasn't winning this thing.
I mean, there's no reason for him to be there. Yeah, he didn't win. What do you want? Like, what are you going to do? Like, you can sit in the crowd?
Support your brothers. Support your NFL brother.
There was no other Steelers there.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward won the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
No,
What
that
do
was
we-
that was a different.
Cam?
It was a different night.
Cam won the most prestigious.
No, I mean, like, what are we mad at him for being frustrated? Like, no, he should be frustrated.
See,
Yeah, I don't blame him whatsoever for being frustrated. There's
If
nothing.
he wins next year, he's not going to go.
Can't go.
I mean, we've seen how that pattern goes. Like, what does he got to do? 50 sacks? What do you want?
Oh, you're saying it's
Break
going to be
the record.
impossible for TJ.
Mike
to
has
win.
already
I mean, yeah,
chosen
like-
one for next year, so
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
like, yeah, that. It is what it is, man. I truly don't want to take away from any of the other players. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. I think Miles is an unbelievable player. I think he's a great football player. So I don't want to take away from him at all.
We don't have to put
Thank
others
you,
down.
JJ.
Wow.
JJ. Connor's got a question for you, JJ.
Yeah, that was really nice, JJ. And also, let me just say, your shirts all year have been incredible. I like that you mailed it in for the last one after the Super Bowl, though, and just wore a sweatshirt. That was
cool color, though.
That was fantastic. Looking at the game as a whole on the defensive side, though, it felt like Wilkes and Spags obviously both had pretty good games, 19 points at the end of 4 quarters for both those offenses. Pretty unbelievable. But for you on the defensive side, what was kind of the biggest moment of the game? Obviously, people are talking about the overtime pressure from Chris Jones so that Jennings doesn't get that first down on the out route. But when you're watching, what to you was the moment where it was like, ooh, that's going to be the play that that wins them this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two really big ones in that second half. I would say the punt, the fumble on the punt, punt hitting his leg, that's massive. You can't give Patrick Mahomes the ball inside the 20-yard line. You just can't do that. It's just that like we said at half, a mistake is going to change this game, and that is such a gigantic mistake to give Patrick Mahomes the ball in that situation when you're leading. And now here he is, third quarter, 2 minutes left, and he's going to be able to go in there and score. And then the third down with about 2 minutes left, 2 minutes, 30 seconds left, where Trent McDuffie came free on a blitz, I would say that was a massive one where if the 49ers get that first down, they're able to waste so much clock and they're able to, possibly just take that thing in and maybe go down, score, win the game. So I think that one of the things that happened here is Spags is so good at using these DBs, and the DBs are so good at executing what he wants them to do. McDuffie really waited until the last possible second so that they had to pick up everybody else in the blitz, and then he just came scot-free right up the B gap and bats the ball down on his way in. I mean, that's an unbelievable play. And talking to some of the Chiefs players during this week, what Spags does with those guys is so incredible. He puts so much trust in them to make the right decisions from a coverage standpoint, depending on the formation the offense comes out in, depending on what they want to do individually. I was talking to Justin Reed, and he said that there could be 4 or 5 different coverages based on how they come out of the huddle. And then within each individual player, there could be 2 or 3 different things you could do within those 4 or 5 coverages. And Spags trusts them to figure it out. It's thoroughly impressive. That's why I'm a D lineman, man. Just tell me where's the ball, go get it.
That was even a massive part of it, though. Lane integrity and gap discipline is a big part of it all. We'll be breaking down that play on In the Trenches later, and I think also everything DB about how they had Kittle, I believe, offset to the right, and then they also send the offensive line to the right because the Chiefs showcase that they're coming that way, and then boom, they got a 2-for-1 on the right side, and then McDuffie comes scot-free on the other side. So they legitimately confused the protection for the Niners on the biggest play of the game. Like, obviously, they pick up that 3rd and 4 right there. They milk the clock. They kick the field goal. They win the game. Instead, classic Spags defense, a little bit of how you doing, keep it moving from the other way. They get a 2-for-1. Like, that's brilliant football. That's brilliant football on the defensive side.
This is a thing that I think we talk about sometimes with the Chiefs, but we don't necessarily talk about all the time. So Andy Reid obviously going to be back calling the plays for the offense. Spags just signed the extension, coming back for the defense. And think about this, because I was talking with some people about this, and sometimes you get the argument that the teams that play in the Super Bowl have less time to rest and recover in the offseason and then rebuild for next season because they played an extra month of football. Possibly true. On the flip side of that, think about how many extra practices the Chiefs have had together. Think about how many extra games the Chiefs have had together. Think about how many extra scenarios and experiences that they've gone through together and worked through over the last 6 years when they've been going to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl every single year. You go with Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours. They've had those 10,000 hours in just the playoffs alone, whereas there's so many teams that season ends January 9th and boom, everybody's out, spread out, not playing football anymore, not working. You're doing your own individual workouts, but these guys are getting actual football reps. It's like a full-blown spring practice for them on their way to the Super Bowl. And now you accumulate all those hours years after year, and they're much more closer as a team. They're much more experienced. They have that many more reps. God. I mean, I think that helps play into it.
That sucks. Great point. That sucks. We have a take on this particular program for a couple years now. We think teams come together better a lot more around a keg than they do kale. And these Super Bowl parades, it's almost like their team grows tighter. You talk about them remaining consistent with the OC and the DC and the special teams coordinator, locked in Tobe, Spags, and Reed, and here we go. Yep. We're running. But they also get a moment seemingly every single year where They get to celebrate life with each other. This photo of Willie Gay, he's dying in the middle of the parade.
No.
Shirtless, jacked, shoeless, with a bottle of Hennessy, laughing his ass off. Like, you don't think, look at this guy. He is not dead. He is A-okay. He is not dead.
So jacked.
So jacked. He's sweating too with the sun. I mean, just so, that guy's a linebacker.
Look at that smile.
Look at his face. He's so
Temperature out
happy.
there?
That guy played the same exact position as A.J. Hawk. Good call. I don't know what the weather is, but it is beautiful. Like, you don't think this team comes together around...
That man looks like a statue. Holy
Shit.
It's 60 and sunny in case.
60, sunny. The football gods bless him with a perfect day, but it's like there's videos now coming out of Travis Kelce chugging beers and drinking tequila, and then Tommy Townsend and Matt Nagy dancing. Like, that brings...
Oh, yeah.
You know, like position groups try to have a dinner each week. Or, like an offense will try to get together like once a year to like have a moment, or quarterback will host a party. And in those times, like when you're drinking together, having fun, you learn a lot about each other. You trust each other more almost whenever you're kind of having those moments. In this team, a lot of them are coming back. A lot of them have had numerous ones of these. So when you're looking at somebody, it's not just a coworker. It's not just a teammate. It's like, oh, that's hey, remember you were, hey, Willie, you remember you were.
Oh, yeah.
Shirtless with a head. You remember, like, that is, like, it only helps the team. We're sitting in the middle of this Kansas City Chiefs era, and then let alone that's your leader. That's the quarterback.
What a dog.
What an absolute dog. Drinking Coors Lattes, shirtless with a bomber jacket on.
Mohawk still there.
Yep.
Yeah, he needs to not cut his hair. I don't know what he's thinking about there.
I mean, they're never going to lose. He
It
wants
sucks.
to. Yeah, he wants to cut it, but he knows, like, hey, there's never going to be a point where we're losing where I should cut it.
I never got to do one of those parades. I heard the one in Indianapolis was awesome.
You'd be sweet at it, I bet.
I think I would perform very well.
Pretty good on the mic. Good on the mic.
Well, also boozing, pretty good. Pretty solid boozer and chugger. Gonna have to own a team someday, boys.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna have to own a team someday. That's the only way we get back into this. We'll make that happen. This has been a fun Wednesday. Commissioner of the NBA stopped by. J.J. Watt brought his hair.
Fine.
We'll be back tomorrow. 2 more days until the Celebrity All-Star Game, then All-Star Weekend, and then we'll be off for a few weeks. Let's enjoy the hell out of it. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Didn't even let you fuck it up. You know why? Because you didn't wear a shirt. That's why.
It was so fucked up. I actually today was like, you know what? I saved shirts for the, the Super Bowl week and a couple for the week after. I just assumed in my head, like, JJ's best shirt is coming today. Like, no doubt
I thought about it, but what would you go with in this situation? I actually have a couple gold ones that I haven't used this year, so I have.
There you go, one of those.
Yeah.
Still got time.
Go change.
You at the house right
I
now?
got
Big house.
I am at
Taking
the
a
house
long
right now.
time.
Yeah,
it
take
back
22
hours.
Yeah, go do a 2-mile run to the bedroom.
I got the Rudy Letterman jacket.
That's
from
great.
Rudy.
Dude.
We don't like that. That's fair.
I have the Talladega Nights race suit from Ricky Bobby.
Oh my God! Why are you
Stop
saying
telling
this?
us.
Yeah.
Stop telling us.
Why are you saying this shit,
That was the one.
prick?
It was just like sometimes I was like,
The internet's got you done.
So distracted.
The internet's got you done.
Wow.
Because of you are bummed out because all the hair talk.
Played
You
it
were
safe
scared
today.
to show up in the Talladega
I didn't
Nights.
want to do the hair and the shirt. Like I didn't want to double down on it.
See, the internet got to you.
See, yeah,
Oh,
that's soft.
you're
That's
weak.
soft,
You're
JJ.
Not
weak.
Always double
I would wear a
down.
hat if I was down about it. I did the hair again on purpose.
No Burnley.
Yeah, but that was you like, I'm gonna show them, but let's not do too much.
Yeah, I don't want to wear a shirt and offend anybody and get them all mad at me again.
Man, don't let these people
Come
get
on.
You're bowing down.
You're
You're
JJ Watt.
JJ.
Oh, no.
JJ Watt. JJ Watt. JJ Watt.
Dana
JJ
just
Watt.
texted me. He said there's no cameras in this gym and we're welcome to use it anytime. So thank you, Dana. I appreciate that.
Who's
No
we?
cameras.
We
That's
all of
fine.
us? We all are?
You were. I was. If it wasn't during the show, we were going to do it together. But it was right during the show.
To be honest, I said I only had 4 drinks the entire time I was in Vegas. That is an accurate number. I had 2,000 milligrams probably. You think?
At least
2,500?
That's not enough.
25, maybe 3,000.
of both
one
vitamins
night.
and
They were
Mucinex.
flowing.
I think it was 10,000.
They all just taste so good too.
They do have good
was like-
flavor. That U2 one, bud, every 4 minutes, I'm like, all right, I got to get to a point where I'm enjoying this. You know, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden you look around and you're like, am I in the sphere right now? What,
Did you watch the stage at all, or was it just pure screen?
yeah, buddy, I watch it all. I watch.
He
Listen,
had a balloon. Bono had
The
a balloon.
stage
he
had
walked around
gimmicks
the
too.
stage.
I heard there was a door on the stage.
and then nothing came out of it.
Chris Rock's birthday.
You guys were in a suite, so maybe not. But did you guys have any experiences with the staircases? Because I mean, somebody is going to bust their ass on those stairs.
So we looked up and we saw them, and it pretty steep incline on those things.
Yeah, very, very steep. Somebody pops some milligrams there, and they're going to be flying right down at the Grateful Dead.
Just as a full asshole, now that this become a big deal, you know, with the whole conversation about us thinking like, hey, you're not doing it right, to you two. U2's been around long. They're one of the most successful groups of all time.
The new era.
One of the most great, like
Sure.
this.
The music's on every iPhone on the planet.
Just like that, which also I went in there thinking about like, all right, these people a little bit too much plugged in maybe. It feels like maybe dropped into this whatever, handed a lot of opportunities. But they've worked for it, obviously. They've worked incredibly hard, and they do their thing.
Sure.
And they have a few bangers. We didn't hear any of them.
None of them.
We left early, 2.5 hours in. I guess if we would have stayed 4 hours, 5 hours, it would have came at one point, which we're appreciative of. But yeah, I would like to put a show on in there. Like, you know, I think Dana had the same thought whenever he was there. So whenever you say, did I look at the stage or anything? Oh yeah, but I was looking at fucking everything. I'm like, you got to make the most of this place. Like,
Because Bono's.
there's so much to do in there.
Yeah.
Like so much.
I've heard that's part of. I mean, obviously Dana was talking about, but I've heard that's part of the issue is that you have to have all the technological people to create, because it's obviously not a standard video board. So you have to have hundreds of engineers to figure out how to build your show for that specific one, and that's the expense that not everybody can take on.
And I assume there's some coding that has to happen with the seats and everything. Like
the rumbles.
Yeah, for the postcard from Earth, did they have those?
Yeah, it was awesome. And the wind? Did you have the wind that blows up on your face?
See? No wind.
Just from Bono.
No wind from Bono.
We had
No
crowd
wind.
noise singing, I think, coming through.
What'd you say, AJ?
There was like, I don't know. The speakers were really good, so I'm not sure when the crowd was singing along. I couldn't really figure it out where it was coming from.
I don't know what triggered the rumbles either, because we only got about 2 of them.
They came out of
Random.
but they came
Real random.
Yeah.
They were coming real
It
hard.
was when he knocked on the door. It was when he knocked on. He looked in the peephole.
Can you imagine
And then
if
we
the-
were looking out. Don't forget, we were on the
Can
other
you
side
imagine
of
if the
that door.
wind
You're
blew that
right.
balloon away and blew all over us?
I thought he was going to fucking ride the
We're not
balloon.
getting into this again.
We can't.
We're not getting into this again.
All right.
This
JJ,
is
stop
this is
it.
4 or 5 straight days now.
Never
Where
open
we've
the
got it.
fucking
We're not
door.
doing this again. Bono, we got so much respect
So
for everything
much.
you've
Yeah,
accomplished.
Love you.
So much.
It's like, how is that?
Do you remember when you told me, speaking of milligrams, do you remember when we were having that conversation and you were like, yeah, we'll give you like 200, 250 milligrams. You'll be great. Internet has pretty clearly told me that would be a large mistake.
A large
What?
Why? Why is that?
a large mistake.
Why is that?
I got a lot of people looking out for me on that one.
No. If we just give you 250 at one time, that'd be a problem. But if we,
I think that's how they took it.
well, that's probably how it was going to go too. Yeah, but if we were to brainstorm and go in a different fashion, it would have been a nice little ride to the top. A nice little ride to the top, which is where we headed to. Vegas was awesome.
It was incredible.
time.
Not like you two. Obviously, we've harped on it. That was the only negative. Everything else was incredible.
They
10 out of
handled
10.
it so well. The city was great for it because, I mean, every single hotel has all of its phenomenal restaurants. It's got plenty of entertainment. Like, it's set up to handle the Super Bowl so well. It was great.
I just realized next year.
We have breaking news from the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Travis Kelce is currently riding Creed Humphrey's shoulders.
Dog.
Okay, through the middle of the street. Normally on buses and things like that, we've seen Patrick Mahomes walk. We've seen Willie Gay laid out, shirtless and shoeless. Now we see Travis Kelce riding center.
A large man.
All-pro Creed Humphrey's shoulders through the streets of Kansas City. That's what it's all about, JJ. That's what it's all about. That team loves it.
That looked
Talk about
Also, one of
bonding.
Travis went to the crowd, and this person had a Jason Kelce from the Bills game cut out shirtless, but without the head. So then Travis took the cutout and put it on his body and then chugged the beer. They're having a good time.
Living.
They're doing it right.
Yep.
doing it right.
Yes, they are.
You know what, guys?
Seems
I
to
should
do
have
it
played a little
properly.
better and we should have won a Super Bowl.
Oh, yes.
I had to say over that.
That's good.
People hate that guy, dude. Think about it, how much fun he is enjoying his life.
Living.
And he's an Ohio fuck. Both of them.
Yep.
Him and Jason Kelce just so happen to be incredible football players through it all. He's become one of the most famous humans on earth. And he's got pit vipers on, chugging beers in the middle of the streets of Kansas City. Hey, stay true to you, Trav.
Keep doing it.
Stay true to you, Trav. We appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Dog.
He is a dog. All right, JJ. I guess this is it.
Man.
I'm going to be in your state, I think, soon. Are you going to be there? You travel so much.
When you coming?
I don't want to give you the exacts, but next week.
Yeah, because that secret.
Oh yeah,
football
yeah.
clip.
I'll be here
Figure it
next
out.
week. I'll be here next week. I got to I got to film a Miller Lite commercial quick on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'll be here.
Lattes?
Miller Lite guy.
We got
Miller Lite.
Ball Town. We got What It Takes. We got Miller Lite movie coming out.
What?
Let's go, JJ. Any hair product? Hey, any hair company?
Ooh.
That feels like that's sitting right there. Hair stuff?
Tresemme, perhaps?
They have reached out. They have reached out.
Toothpaste?
Who?
Um,
Toothpaste is good.
I don't know. I just know they've reached out. I was just told we got a lot of incoming from the hair department.
Got to be
a lot of
glue.
incoming from.
Oh, yeah. Maybe
It's,
that spray. What's that big spray?
For men?
Big hair, I think is what it's called.
Tresemme has some great
I
products.
mean, I'd really love to just do a throwback to like what was it like LA Looks or
That was
whatever
one.
that super gel
Oh, yeah.
was
Still
that
around.
didn't hold
Gotta
your
be
hair
glue.
up at all, but was.
That's what the whites used to do. That's literally what the whites used to do.
Like Pauly D.
Did you ever the one where you only spike up the front?
I mean,
Just
that's
the
happening
front,
right now,
everything
kind
else
of.
is flat?
Yes. That's what when you have you have 1,000 calyx, I assume, through the back of your hair.
Oh, billion, yeah.
Yeah, me too. So there's only like the
Disaster.
sloppy spike. I had that probably from the ages 14 to about 20 something, probably 20 or so. So I've been where you are. Then I just gradually. I use a blow dryer now. I use blow dryer to kind of get it under control, so I don't have to do that. But yeah, when I saw your hair, I was like, "That's a really good sloppy spike." And then I saw the internet say a little bit too much spike. Not enough
Come
sloppy.
on.
They're saying you look like you.
Yeah, let the guy live. If he wants 50 spikes on his head, let him do it.
It's good, brother.
It's very nice of us.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean,
I'm
anytime Guy
jealous of any
Fieri
hair.
shouts you out and says you got great hair, I mean, you got to be doing something right.
Yeah, you're right. And not only him, Mark McGrath too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Spiked Hair Club came out of the woodwork, and I appreciate them all.